Uh, we're live, we go. Welcome to Breakfast at Timothy's. The third time this has happened, somehow. Um, we're in the lovely Chateau Morris, and as ever. And today is a special day because not only is it Pentecost, which, like birthplace of the church. Hi Janet, thanks. Hi Matthew, morning. Today is Pentecost, which some people celebrate as like the birthday of the church. But it's also 25 years since family Morris moved into Chateau Morris today, which is like quite incredible, really. 31st of May, 25 years ago. I was 3.5. It was a Wednesday, which I think is quite unconventional for movie day. I don't know if anyone else has got any unconventional movie movie day stories. I'm like kind of in the process of like buying a house, or like the early stages of that. But my understanding was that you normally move on a Friday because it's like the weekend and stuff. But anyway, moved on a Wednesday, so go figure. Let me know in the comments if you have funny stories from moving on unusual days of the week. Morning. It's Janet again. Hello from Scotland. Wow. I thought I probably should also say something about how this whole thing got started, because for those of you who aren't like personal friends with me on Facebook, you might not be aware. But basically, after we started online church as Hope Church, I somehow got into the habit of, oh no, that's why. I'm not very good. I'm not a morning person, and so I would often get up quite late, and like just before the service started, like 10:15. The service starts at 10:30, and I would be up in my bedroom because my parents were like in the lounge doing their church service. Morning, Steve. I'm good. How are you? So I'd be in my bedroom partly to try and use the other Wi-Fi router thing so they don't like hog the internet. I don't even know if that's actually how it works, but anyway. So I get up late, I come downstairs, grab like all my bits for breakfast, and then take it upstairs on a tray so I could then eat it while like the service is happening. And morning, Matt. I obviously don't have my headset today. I'm sorry to disappoint, but yeah. So I'd have all my breakfast on a tray, and I thought, oh, this is kind of funny, so I took a photo of it and posted it on Facebook. Morning, Amy, and then it kind of developed into this habit of I'd do it every week, and eventually gathered quite a following. People were, 50 likes, which is not bad going. So I was then invited to transition from video to from photo to video and like host this whole Coronagate vlog thing. So anyway, that's how it came about, which is obviously ironic because part of the point of it is I'm not very good at getting up, so therefore this breakfast thing started. And so it's ironic that I'm then invited to be up at like 9 o'clock or slightly beforehand, so I could like get myself together so that I could do this thing about breakfast, because that was kind of antithetical to the original point of it. Olivia's got a little story. We moved into our home on 31st October, which was a Tuesday. Interesting first evening in a new community where we didn't really want to appear rude, but also needed to not keep going to the door to answer for trick-or-treaters. Yeah, I could imagine that being a bit awkward. Great. Well, I think we've got some bit. The other thing with this new view, I can't see how many people there are, which is maybe good because it's not a distraction or like bad for my ego. But let me play the titles. Timothy's. Oh, there we go. I feel like I might be getting better at it every week. If someone wants to mix me like a remix of Breakfast at Tiffany's with actually Timothy's in it, so I don't have to keep doing it. But there's something fun about like the whole Timothy's thing. Anyway, so we'll crack on. I went on for like 30 minutes last week, which was just currently 10 people watching. See, figure numbers have dropped. I think the first week it was really exciting, and then after that I was a bit like, last week I was like, the shine's worn off. Yeah, I'm posh, like, oh, funny. But anyway, so maybe this will win it back. It was Steve's way of getting me out of bed at 9 a.m, which is like for which I'm very grateful. Thanks, Steve. Oh, and Steve, yeah, Steve wanted me to point out that it was Steve who came up with the name, which was, like, to be fair, absolutely inspired. So, Jamie came up with a poster which you may have seen floating around with picture of me photoshopped into like a suit with that thing that posh people do, where they have like not quite proper length trousers, and then they don't wear socks, and you probably have booters on, which are like these kind of shoes that you wear at Cambridge or Oxford or something to go on a punt. I don't know where booters come from. So, but anyway, the suit jacket is quite nice. I kind of quite now want a suit jacket like that. But anyway, right. So today we're on to our guess that posh object, and today it's rather exciting. It's like a weapon. I kind of think it looks a bit like a scimitar. You know, like in stories, people like pirates or maybe like people in the Middle East or something have like a sword that's like a curved blade, which I imagine to be something like this. So anyway, there you go. It is actually like silver, which is kind of the posh metal as opposed to stainless steel for your bog standard cutlery. So anyway, does anyone know what this is? This bladed object. It's not for cutting a wedding cake, Amy Parker, although that's maybe a good guess. My mum actually is quite good at making cakes. In fact, do I have? I can't find it. Anyway, she's got my mum does like wedding cakes as like a thing for people, not like paid, but like for friends and stuff. She's very good, like really good. But she often has she does have another knife that's kind of like silver as well. But she'll like tie a little bit of ribbon around the end of it so it looks nice, and then bring that with her as part of like, I bought the cake, by the way, because you probably didn't think of it, brought a nice knife to cut it with. So holding this up again, Matthew Blackburn said a dacrificial, I think, he misspelled sacrificial as dacrificial, and then tried to correct it and spelt it as sacrificial. But anyway, sacrificial. It's not for sacrificing things. I mean, I don't know what you imagine posh people do in their spare time, but it's not. Melissa's got it. So it's not a sacrificial slice. It's in fact a fish slice. Got the first crusade. Yeah, maybe Hope Church should do like a crusade. Like, yeah, bring that back. Like, all about going back to origins. Maybe not. So Melissa, well done. Janet, Jamie, Amy has suggested meringue or pavlova, which is not. Although I do have something else on that topic, but I'll have to wait for another time. Yeah, it's a fish slice. In fact, it came in this quite fancy kind of velvet lined box. I know. It's like, so I think the point of it is, funny. The reason why it works as a fish slice is that you can kind of, if you've got a whole fish, and I think you try to get in like under the bones or something, or maybe under the skin, or because the fish is kind of long and flat. So I think that's the point, is that it's you can kind of get into a fish and slice it up and lift it out or something. We have actually it does get used sometimes when we do we cook like a whole salmon or something. It does actually get used, but most of the time it sits in the drawer and it gets like used like maybe twice a year. But that is like, by the way, tip if you want to become posh. Part of becoming posh is having lots of objects that are like slightly functional, but that actually only get used like maybe once a year. But like take up a lot of space in your house the rest of the time. So and other people could see it come in and think that you use like all the time because you're really posh. Actually, it's like, we use that like once a year at most. But so anyway, fish slice, and it's quite satisfying. It's got like this little it doesn't click, but you got this little button that you press in and it pops open. So anyway, there we go, fish slice. How are you meant to eat with that? Oh, sorry, I should have explained. So I'll just catch up on the comments here. So last Sunday, I don't know if you would have seen, or for those of you who were in the service, we're doing the story of Isaac, and Matt's joking that's the knife that someone had made, like family from church made a little video of like the Isaac story. Matt's joking that this was the knife they used to sacrifice him, which perhaps would have. It's not actually that sharp, though. So I'm not having kippers or smoked haddock for breakfast, so that'd be an interesting idea. So the point is, you're not supposed to eat with. This is for serving it. Sorry, I should have explained that. So this is for serving it. So you've got like a fancy fork and knife, but it's for serving it up, not for eating it. Although if you do go to a posh restaurant, you get a knife a bit like this shape in that it's kind of a bit wider, but it wouldn't be as big. But yeah, if you go to a restaurant and get a fish knife, which I think I have occasionally been to a really posh restaurant where they did that, it's similarly kind of got flat so that you can pick up fish with it. So anyway, Steve's disclaiming the this video does not represent official. I think that was in like the Crusades comment. So yeah, the kitchen is quite big, but actually a lot of this lives in the dresser in the dining room. So which you've got to have like a cupboard with glass fronted doors so that people can see all the posh things you have. Although this lives in a drawer, but this post is sponsored by Lakeland. Yes, Steve, but like there is so. But basically, if you want to become posh, go to Lakeland, buy a whole ton of stuff. Right, time is marching on, and so this week I was gonna what else? Oh, I've got some other. Oh, maybe I'll do that later in a minute. This week I thought we'd like maybe make poached eggs. Now we've got this egg poacher. Because one of the things about poached eggs, there's quite a lot of ways of doing it. In fact, I think. I don't know if anyone else has come across these, which I got in a pair with like a light and a dark one, but they're kind of silicone, like the classic modern kitchen gadget material, and it looks like it might be slightly inappropriate, but it's not. It's get your minds out of the gutter. It's for poaching eggs. So the idea is you like have a pan of boiling water or something, and you like float this inside. Float this on the pan on the water, and then you crack an egg inside, and and maybe put a bit of butter in first so it doesn't stick or something, and it like poaches your egg in a nice shape. The only downside to this, which I discovered when I tried it, was that like the point of plastic is that it's an insulator, so it like doesn't let heat through very well. So it took an absolute age to cook this egg because it's basically like cooking it in like something that's designed to not transfer heat, and you're like, what? Like, what? I mean, it's a nice idea, but like, anyway. So we're not going to poach an egg with this little silicone thing, although it's kind of neat. Also, I don't know what the corners are for. The holes in the corners. I don't know whether you're supposed to like hang it up somewhere or. Anyway, Jamie's saying he's doing the hardcore proper way, just crack the egg in water. That is like, well, my mum calls that holiday poached eggs because like you go on holiday, which is like have a nice time. Actually. It's a bit of a faff because on holiday, like if you've got a really nice kitchen with loads of stuff, and then you go on holiday and you have to like kind of do without it, so it's like, oh, let's have like a nice time, except like there's only like one saucepan and you have to like wash it up between like making different things or whatever. Like, so my mum calls it holiday poached eggs, where you boil the water, give it a stir, crack the egg straight in, and then you have to hope it kind of like keeps together. But I'll maybe do that another time. It does. Yeah, Deborah said. It does look like an oxygen mask. Melissa says about vinegar, which is interesting. And Amy said vinegar too. Okay, apparently vinegar. Wow, I never knew that. Vinegar's the trick. Maybe I should do that. Okay, future video. We'll make poached eggs the like hardcore way. And it's a microwave. You're supposed to microwave it. Melissa. Wow, you learned something like okay. Two things I've learned today. If you're doing poached eggs in the pan, use vinegar, drop of vinegar. And apparently this is meant to be for micro. I kind of want to try it now. It's actually a bit dusty. So, Melissa, could you, like, am I supposed to just, like, crack the egg in and then, what's it say? No, it doesn't say anything about it. It is actually quite dirty, so I might not do that now. But, I think this poachy thing is quite cool. So you've got these like little metal pods, and you fill the pan with water, and then you sit it in the pan, and it's obviously kind of their bottoms are sitting in the water, and then you bit of butter, crack an egg in, 4 minutes or something like that. I feel like I'm not going to attempt to do this live because I've not actually done it before. My mum normally does it. Not that my mum like always cooks for breakfast, but it's just like I can cook a poached egg, but when I'm not at home, I don't use that because I don't have one. So, Jamie's saying gently pour the water into the egg. Gently pour the egg into the water from a mug. Amy is telling a funny story of microwaving a poached egg in the microwave and left it too long and it exploded. Amy, did you put the whole egg in the microwave? Maybe you need somebody to explain how this works. You don't put the whole egg in the microwave. You just put the egg in something in the microwave. But I mean, maybe there's still a danger even then. Morning, Joe. Welcome. No worries that you're late. You could do omelette in the microwave. In fact, yeah. Okay, you pop the yolk. What? Okay, well, I now have massive ideological objections to this because I don't want. Why would you pop the yolk? Like, no, I'm disagreeing. You have to have the yolk, like, not. Does it just stop it exploding, or do you lose the yolk everywhere? Because the point of an egg, like a poached egg, is that you could dibble in it still as well. So, although I don't normally actually, I normally just cut it. But anyway, I suppose someone talked about Deborah talked about making omelette in the egg. We used to have something as kids called egg pots, which was basically like a kind of omelette in a pot. So you get a ramekin, and you would like whisk up egg, a bit of milk, and I think some like bacon bits, like bacon lardons, or like cut up a rasher. And I think you just whack it all in the pot and shove it in the microwave for like a minute or two or something. And it's like quite an easy way of doing an egg without fiddling around too much. And yeah, they're called egg pots. But I think it was basically like an omelette. I didn't really discover omelettes till quite late in life, actually. But yeah, Amy is fully with me on the not popping the yolk. Jamie doesn't even have a microwave. Like, the only person I know who doesn't have a microwave is like my gran. I don't quite understand Jamie's like hipster ways. Okay, so I'm pleased that apparently I now know this is meant to be for microwaving, which is why it took so long when I was doing it in a pan of water, and also because it sat really high up as well. So yeah, it makes total sense. But also, I'm not microwaving an egg if it means I have to pop the yolk, because that is like not how I roll. What else do we have? I'm just probably I thought I'd. So this is our friend, the coffee pot we've seen so far, with, as I managed to explain through my tears last week. It's got this really nice top, and I'm not sure if you could quite see it. So it's got the bit that pops out for you to plunge it, is shaped with this kind of. So I suppose it's shaped so you can grip it, so you can screw it. And obviously it makes total sense that this bit goes into the lid and then it's got the same shape. But I just really, really like the fact it's just a really nice piece of design from the 80s or whatever. But like because it's all curved, and like it's curved this way and curved that way, and it's just like I just used to find it really satisfying just looking at it as a child. Like when you're a child, like coffee is this kind of strange foreign experience that your parents do. So I suppose there's already fascination there. But yeah, I still like it. But also, I just thought I'd introduce you to the other cafetières, because they probably anyway. So this one I think can hold about 4 mugs worth. This one can hold 3, and then if there's 2 of you, we've got this one, which also has this nice little like cork mat, so you can not burn the table or something. And then finally, if you're like going solo. We've got a 1-person cafetiere. I don't think it was a deliberate 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of choice. We just accumulated them over the years, and they happen to be kind of different sizes. Okay. Oh, right. Some more comments about poached eggs. Apparently, if it's older, it might not pop. Jamie says it has to be ready unless you're hard boiling it for salad or something. Fully agree. Abby said she uses the silicone poach to the pan. She keeps the lid on, which would make a bit more sense. Lots of love for the ready yolks. Apparently, the hardcore way of just putting poached egg in boiling water works a lot better with fresher eggs. JB poached eggs quite a lot. And yeah, one thing I was going to say, actually, I remember hearing, so to be really posh, you shouldn't use like Frenchisms. So, for example, like you don't say toilet, you say lavatory or loo, and you wouldn't say like serviette, you would say napkin. And apparently this is because like there's a sense that if you're using the French words, it kind of sounds like you're trying to make yourself seem sophisticated and fancy, which is more like a middle class thing to do, that kind of like striving. Whereas if you're properly posh, you're like, I'm already there, like I've got nothing to prove. So perhaps a posh person might actually call this like a French press, but I think of that as an American thing, or what a term Americans use. So I've never used that. But funny story behind this, I wanted a cafetiere, so I put it on my birthday list. And then and the way birthday lists work in our house, I don't know if you still do them, or whether it's just something you did as a child, but it's quite useful because it means you get stuff that you wanted and is useful for you. Jamie's suggesting I put the eggs in the cafetiere, and like part of me's tempted just for like the bands, but I feel like it's not a good use of cafetières, and it would slightly ruin it. Morning, Skylar, and I'm not going to poach an egg in a cafetiere, guys. Like, I'm so tempted now. It doesn't take much to persuade me to do something like wild, but anyway. So So with birthday lists work and Christmas lists as well. Like, you submit your birthday list to Mother of Morris, and then she will coordinate with like other relatives and friends. And so like I would like ring up my mum and say, oh, like it's Rachel's birthday, it's coming up, my sister. And when in fact, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a triplet. So like my sister and brother's birthday is the same as my birthday. So I would like submit my list to mum, and then I would also say like, oh, have you got a list for Rachel or Pete? And normally, like, she's not got a list from Pete because he's disorganised and like can't decide what he wants, or doesn't really want anything. He just buys it for himself anyway. And then, anyway, the point is, Mother of Morris coordinates the lists and like so she'll give out like, oh, give Granny, Tim wants this, like you can get that, and like her sister, who, despite the fact that I'm like 28, my aunt still buys me birthday presents, which is really lovely, and my other aunt as well. But anyway, there's some like bad coordination had gone on because my mum had dished out the same thing to two different people, so we got two cafetières. And also completely independently of that, at Christmas, which was like a couple of months later, following a conversation I'd had, another aunt had kind of twigged that I was like into coffee, and so she brought me a cafetiere as well. So I had like 3 cafetières, and I was like, maybe like 2 are useful if you have loads of guests, but I don't need 3. And my parents need a new one. So anyway, so I kindly donated this cafetiere, which is quite like it's quite stylish. Like, it's got this little holder, and it kind of slides in. So this was actually mine, but yeah, you're welcome. I just realised I've not actually done the coffee, and I probably should. Birthday list. Celia's loving the birthday list. Jamie's still trying to persuade me to put the eggs in the cafetiere. The posh people do wild things. I'm not sure what that was reference to. Oh, that. What else is there? I'm not part of the twin research unit. I think it's mainly for identical twins, but I'm not sure. One other thing I was going to talk about was obviously when you've made your poached egg, you then have to put it on the plate, and so this means you have to make choices, because obviously, being posh, you have like different grades of plate for different situations. So I just thought I'd introduce you to the plate gradings. Let me put the coffee on first so that we can plunge it at the end. Otherwise, we'll be here for like. And we're on to, like, very excitingly, we've got a different colour of coffee. So this is Mayan Gold, number 5. And I don't know if you noticed, coffee roast, coffee is graded from like 3, 4, 5. I think it's like to 7 if you like get the crazy like Taylor's like Volcano Fire or something. I don't know what it's called, the really strong roast. But it starts at 3. It doesn't start at 1. which is kind of like makes sense because maybe no one wants to think I'm like, oh, I'm just getting one strength coffee. But on the other hand, it is like slightly funny. Anyway, so but yeah, we've got some yellow coffee. Right, that away. So yeah, plates. Yeah, so definitely like part of being posh is having like multiple options for your in the crockery department. And so we start off with, now those of you who've been to uni or maybe like when you first moved out of your house, you probably like went to IKEA or like Tesco or something and bought like two of everything, like 2 plates, 2 bowls, 2 knives, 2 forks, 2 spoons, 2 teaspoons, 2 mugs maybe. And so you've got this like basic cutlery, basic crockery, and then like, you know, as time goes on, you like buy a full like 6 set or something like that. But anyway, so what else have we got? Abby's point. Okay, sorry. This is like I've got so many comments to answer. Right. I'm not part of any triplet research, sadly. Jamie's still trying to persuade me to cook eggs in the cafetiere. I'm not identical, so I'm not identical with my brother, although that can happen. Like, my sister met someone at uni who was a triplet, and the other 2 were like a pair of identical twins. Abby's pointing out that we're 34 minutes into the video and no breakfast has been made. I just decided it's like quite a lot of faff I can't multitask very well. And so I just decided that I'd just like tell you about what like I'm going to do, and then you can see the photo later. Although I forgot to upload the photo last week, so I'll do that this week as well. Right, okay, so this is like bear in mind my parents went to uni like the late 70s. I think this was my mum or my dad's like that kind of like 2 set that they took to university, which presumably this was like cool in the 80s or 70s, I don't know. And this is basically like the only, I think there used to be some bowls as well and maybe some smaller plates. This is literally the only piece of crockery we've got left from that era. And this is now definitely relegated to the like, oh, I need like a plate to do some cooking stuff on. Like, yeah, I need to like mix up some flour and eggs to put in my carbonara or something like that. This is just, you wouldn't eat off this, really. This is just used as like a plate for useful stuff. Then the next level we go to is the everyday crockery, which is quite nice. I do quite like this. Which was also my parents always do this. It was like discontinued when my parents bought it. So it was if you break it, you can't get replacements. But you know, whatever. So this is like the kind of everyday bog standard stuff. Now, then you go on to like, and those live in the kitchen. Then you have this one, which lives in the dining room and is used for like Sundays, basically. Again, like I said about being posh, you have stuff that you don't use very often but takes up a lot of space. So this was like the Sunday crockery, and so got used for like Sunday roast and other like fancy occasions like Christmas Day and stuff like that. Except, hold on to your plates, because we then got an upgrade when after my grandparents died, we inherited. This is the same grandparents who we inherited the Stilton hat from the first week, if you remember. We inherited this like Wedgwood. I know, it's like proper bone china. You see that, just to prove it. Wedgwood. So this is now like, this now been delegated to like kitchenware. So this tends to get used for dinners during the week. So it's like, a bit fancier. It's like for dinner for the evening meal, but it's not. I think, do we use it? I can't remember now. Yeah, but it's not like super fancy. Whereas like Sunday roast and Christmas Day, we now use this stuff, which is like, I think it's really nice. It's got like little wild strawberries on it, and but the only thing is like it can dishwash as well, but you have to use like the special liquid, and it's not as good as like normal dishwasher tablets. So basically, you can't put anything else in the dishwasher like pans because they just don't cook clean. So anyway. Let's go on these comments. It's not Denby, it's I don't think this is Denby. No, so this is Royal Dalton. And what this is. This is for Boots, apparently. It's for Boots. And that's my dad. Apparently this is for Boots. Well, there you go. Right. I think we're gonna have to wrap up here because we've been going for a long time, and my dad is wanting to like come and make breakfast and stuff, so we better not get in the way. Um, and yeah, great. You're telling us who's making these plates. Um, right. Yeah. Anyway, that's quite enough for this week. Oh, the coffee. Forgot. Okay. So this is me. Oh, I was gonna put Marmite on toast for poached egg, which I think is quite nice. You may disagree, but it's too late. So oh wait, you see that? If I plunge the coffee, it's actually quite stiff. Great, there we go. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We should definitely go now because my dad is waiting for the kitchen. But I will see you. Don't forget to tune in at 10:30 for the Sunday service. And if you want to join the prayer meeting, I think it started 7 minutes ago. So anyway, and I will see you next week.